So from Christoph Waltz to Christoph Waltz. We just talked about Alita Battle Angel, and you've watched another Christoph Waltz film recently. What did you watch, Chris?
Well, it wasn't Django Unchained, let me tell you that. It was Spectre.
Okay.
The 24th. Ooh, well done. The 24th James Bond film.
Most recent as of this recording.
Yeah. So again, I was away last weekend and downtime in the hotel. First Saturday night, Skyfall showed. And then Friday night, Skyfall showed. And then Saturday night, they followed it up with Spectre.
Yep.
Yeah, Spectre.
James Bond is at it again with his crazy gadgets and his crazy women and his crazy villains. So this one is the fourth film of the Daniel Craig era. Highly rumoured at the time to be the last, due to the fact that he'd been in the game a fair few years and he looks sad, tired and bored.
And the film even kind of ends on a bit of a ending moment as well for him, which we'll get to.
Yeah. So what briefly is the plot of Spectre?
Oh, God, what is the plot of Spectre? I watched it last week and I've already forgotten. So the plot of Spectre basically sees James Bond following up a lead left behind by M from the previous film. It's very confusing, but I'll get into that. Mm-hmm. So he follows up his lead and it leads him down into a rabbit hole of discovering that there's this evil criminal organisation called Spectre, who, of course, were a criminal organisation back in like the 60s films.
Yeah. I thought that was Snurf or Smurf.
No, it starts off as Smersh, which was the actual Russian secret agency.
Right.
And then it kind of morphs into Spectre.
Okay.
I think it's Smersh only in From Russia with Love, and then it becomes Spectre.
Yeah.
For like the other films, because Smersh was too political.
Yeah.
So that's the A plot. And then the B plot sees the new M, who's
Ralph Fiennes.
Ray Fiennes, yeah. And he is negotiating the complex negotiation of basically merging MI5 and MI6 into one organisation. And the country is going to join a global surveillance network, which will let 9 countries have shared intelligence streams of their different countries. Plot twist, it turns out Spectre was in on it the whole time. It basically means that Spectre will have the global surveillance network of 9 different countries, which of course is bad news. And Bond has to thwart Blofeld and Spectre, I guess.
Yeah.
That's your plot, and it's 2.5 hours long.
Yeah. So I watched this when it came out, which 2013, 15?
2015, yeah.
2015, yeah. So I watched it when it came out and thought, bit of a bloated mess. It's trying to do the whole thing where it's trying to, all the films were linked.
Yeah.
Oh, it turns out that actually Bond knows this guy and there's been this secret thing. Because it tries to link Casino Royale, Quantum of Solace,
and Skyfall
into one big umbrella, doesn't it?
Yeah,
to try and
make
it like a big shared kind of thing.
Almost like they'd quote-unquote planned the whole thing.
Yeah.
Or maybe because the producers had seen the Avengers and this whole shared universe thing is catching on, so we'll make James Bond into a serialised
series. Have like a Felix Leiter film.
Oh, yeah, great, yeah. A Lee Seydoux film.
Oh, what's her character even called in this?
She is called...
Bond Girl 1.
She is called Dr. Madeline Swan.
Really?
And she is the daughter of the character Mr. White.
Oh, yeah, Casino Royale. That classic character.
They decided to dredge him back up because, again, these films are all connected now. And
yeah.
I mean, I suppose that's the film's first number one problem. I mean, why are we talking about this forgotten James Bond film in 2019? Well, we're going to get onto that.
Yeah.
But first we want to talk about the problems with Spectre. So I suppose the film's biggest problem is that whole need to try and link all the previous James Bond film, well, all the Daniel Craig James Bond films together. As it transpires, Le Chiffre, played by Mads Mikkelsen.
Yeah.
The also memorable villain, Mr. Green, from Quantum of Solace.
My favourite character in any film.
No, not even film. Fiction. Just novels, comic books. Mr. Green, my favourite character. A James Bond villain who wants to steal water.
Yeah.
Well,
we all need... My attachment to water is what makes him such a scary villain.
A third of our planet's water, man, and we're 70% of it. That's why I should care. Is
he also going to be the villain in Avatar: Way of Water?
Yeah, maybe that's why they have to become the seed bearers, because all the water's been stolen. I don't know. And Anton Chigurh. Javier Bardem. What's he called in Skyfall?
He's called Javier Bardem. Javier Skyfallia.
No, I'm gonna have to look it up because it's gonna annoy me. He's definitely not called Anton Chigurh.
No, that's don't bring up good films when you're talking about Bond.
Silver, that's it.
Silver.
Yeah. Like an independent rogue agent is actually part of an evil criminal organisation designed to bring down James Bond.
Yeah.
And James Bond specifically.
Yeah.
So
I suppose actually important to discuss when we talk about Spectre is Skyfall, because basically Skyfall was like the one that proved that Bond was actually properly back. You had Casino Royale, which was a big hit financially and commercially, proved that Bond could work in the post 9/11 era. I feel so sick of saying that. Like, you've got fucking like GoldenEye and all, which is like GoldenEye. It was a big hit, and it proved that Bond could really work in the post Cold War era. Yeah. You got because he's always trying to obviously relic from the Cold War era. He's fighting the Russians all the time and stuff.
Which is going to be part of our argument later, is why they always feel the need to justify James Bond existing.
Yeah, but
in one era.
You had Casino Royale, big hit. Then you had Quantum of Solace. No one liked it. Tepid business overall.
And didn't really do anything to pursue this. We're justifying why James Bond needs to exist in the 21st century. Yeah.
In fact, I would say that laid the seed for what's wrong with this film. Because do you remember that film's an awful moment where he paints the woman gold? Oh. No, he does something. He points her with oil.
Oil, yeah.
Because it's supposed to be reference. Yeah.
Wink, wink.
Directed by Mark Forster as well.
And then you've got Skyfall.
Yeah.
Which,
breaks $1 billion.
Yeah, does very well. And it's also a good film.
Good film,
It's a legit good film. I watched Skyfall on the Friday night, and it's still a cracking little film.
Yeah.
It's got references to other James Bond films. They drive an Aston Martin DB5 at the end of the film, and get that, you're going to like this, it's for a plot reason. Oh. It's because all the modern cars that MI6 make have tracking devices in them.
Yeah.
And the Aston Martin DB5, because it's an old relic, doesn't.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh my god, wow. Blind blown. A reference that works.
Yeah.
Alright, it doesn't make any sense, why James Bond's got any affection for this car from the 60s unless James Bond's, fucking 70 years old. Daniel Craig's obviously not 70 years old, but still...
He looks 70 years old in Spectre.
Oh, yeah. But it's a cute moment. And it works, I think it's because, it tries to make James Bond into, a character.
Yeah.
It tries to do different things and it's interesting.
You learn a bit about his backstory as well. There's an emotional moment where, spoiler alert for Skyfall, dies.
For a film that absolutely everyone in the world has seen.
Yeah. But it proved that Bond could be a good film. A lot of people said Skyfall was the best of all time.
I agree.
Probably true, yeah. Yeah, a lot of the older ones we'll get onto that, they are very good. But, so, proves he can come back, proves he can do the modern stuff, makes the best one, makes all the money in the world. Yeah. Let's make another one with I would say, vaguely similar formula. Outsized villain, played by a character actor who recently played an outsized villain. Javier Bardem also won Best Supporting Actor for his villain. Had Christoph Waltz for the guy from Inglourious Bastards. I don't know the character's name. It's more of a mature Bond. You've got some more links to the past kind of thing.
And he does some kind of undermining of
who he is,
of
kind
the
of
Bond
thing.
Formula and this kind of stuff.
So, does it work as well?
The resounding answer is it's a big no. It's a big negatory no. It does not work whatsoever. James Bond kind of comes across as a bit of a psychopath in this film.
Yeah.
Like, more so than any of the previous ones. He basically puts poor Q and Moneypenny's jobs completely on the line for his own insane personal ungrounded vendetta.
Yeah.
I'm with Ray Fiennes being like, oh no, what could this mean for MI6 if Bond's going off the rails? And like, oh no, I don't want Q to lose his job.
That's because you're a square who won't let real men do what they need to do. You think intelligence work is sitting behind the desk analysing data and software and interference. What it actually is a drunken old fool going around shooting things.
You see, it's interesting that you mentioned that because there is a really interesting thematic thread. I don't want to blow my load too quickly because there's good which what James Bond does on a regular basis, but there is like a strange thematic thread which links Skyfall and Spectre together, and it's that whole British bulldog sensibility.
Yeah.
Like, all these new ways are scary and terrifying. We've got to go back to the old ways to see us through, and that's what justifies James Bond existing in the modern era.
Yeah.
So, case in point, Skyfall, you've got Silver, who represents an altogether different kind of James Bond villain who's got no allegiance. He's not associated with any country or any organisation. All he wants to do is go on his personal vendetta to take MI6 M and James Bond down. Yeah. So an individual has the same power as a nation, which is the problem of why they retroactively decided that Silver was now part of Spectre, but we'll get to that.
Yeah.
And it's up to James Bond in his classic Aston Martin DB5 to go back to basics, go back to the way it used to be, and take Silver down the old-fashioned way.
Yeah.
And it's kind of the same in Spectre, where you've got this scary new global spy espionage network, which could actually stop the 00 program altogether. Yeah. An incredibly costly, unmanageable program.
Which never seems to actually get very many results.
I think we're completely justified in phasing out the 00 program.
Yeah.
To basically fuel these addictive, strange personalities. But then James Bond basically has to. James Bond's here to save the day. He's going to stop these crazy new ways of thinking. I've got no doubt.
Yeah.
If Bond was a real person, he'd vote for Brexit.
Oh, definitely.
And to leave the EU. I've got no doubt. But he goes back to the whole British bulldog sensibility of, we'll weather the storm kind of thing. The old ways will see us through.
Yeah.
We'll have the Blitz spirit going.
Post World War II was great, wasn't it? Let's go back to that time period.
Let's go back to rations and economic uncertainty and poor jobs and.
Oh, but I remember the Beatles though. When I had to save up 7 weeks to buy to buy the Beatles White Album, and I hated it, but listened to it enough to force myself to like it while eating my bananas or eating my beans.
Beans, yeah. My half portion of beans by candlelight.
Do you know why I want to like the Beatles? Because you couldn't afford any more albums. You could buy one Beatles album a year, and that was it. That was
that was a lot.
Yeah.
I had the rats on a walking machine to generate electricity to move the spinning vinyl disc. And,
and anyway else I hate, political correctness, it's just gone bad.
So you get what I'm saying though.
Well, I find it weird that these films have, supposedly more let's say quote unquote woke trappings or something. Like Moneypenny is black in the film, isn't she?
And Q's a spotty, effeminate nerd, and
exactly. Yeah, he's coded as being one of those gays that just gets in Bond's way and stuff.
And he is played by Ben Whishaw as well.
Fucking Paddington Bear. I'd fucking twat Paddington Bear and up Paul Bowen. Yeah. Go back to fucking Peru.
Yeah, but there's all sorts of jokes where Bond's there's a really funny scene in Spectre where he's in Switzerland or something, and he's trying
one of those gay countries.
One of them non-EU countries.
Yeah, they're all right, aren't they?
So Bond's given a protein shake, and he's like, "Nah, it's fucking shit, mate."
Yeah.
He's like, "I'm not trying that. None of that foreign muck."
But what I mean is that they have like this fake sort of more liberal pandering and stuff. Like they'll have like yeah, he has like a black assistant now and stuff. And
A black assistant.
No, but what I mean,
No, I get what you mean. Yeah,
it has more representational parts, but the actual theme of the film itself is still this kind of regressive. We have to go back to the way things were because the modern world is too scary to to be part of, basically. Yeah.
So that was a very very that was a very strange thematic thread that I found running through Skyfall and Spectre. We don't want them. We don't want them gays invading England.
Well, isn't he supposed to be like?
Well, Silver is he's definitely coded as being like predatory gay, which is like a really prominent trope and stuff, and it doesn't really work. But then James Bond's like,
maybe Bond shouldn't be drunk all the time. He'd have less chance of being.
Maybe get into car crashes and stuff, and like. But no, then Bond's like, when Silver comes onto him, Bond's like, what makes you think it's my first time? And it's like,
wink, wink, nudge,
wink, wink,
nudge.
but definitely not. No.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would rue. Well, I'm sure Brexiteers would rue the day. Not that I'm linking Brexiteers to people who like old-fashioned James Bond, but I am.
Well, I found it funny when they had the whole argument that Idris Elba should replace Bond. I think he'd be a great Bond.
I think it would be, yeah.
But they were like, oh no, he's much too urban for that. It's like, fucking, what century are you living in? Like, did you actually hear about that?
Yeah, I did, yeah.
And it's like, that's regressive for even the most regressive people, but... I think Bond though, because it's the fancy car and the cigarettes and the it's that dream of like it's just I don't like it at all, to be honest.
No, he's impossibly rich and he can have whoever he wants. He can rape whatever woman he wants and there's no consequences. I think
push around Paddington Bear without consequences.
Because for all of its like regressive themes, like Skyfall rides the line quite well.
Yeah.
Well, like it kind of does that a little bit, but like definitely not too much. While Spectre just completely falls off the other end. Spectre has the scene which put me off James Bond as a concept, and why we are going to get to this podcast's theme nearly 20 minutes in, which is why James Bond should die. And it's a scene in Spectre where it's a widow's funeral. Basically, he's traced the guy who's linked to Spectre, he's traced to a funeral. It's really confusing in the film, by the way, because it's implied that there's been like a length of time between Skyfall and Spectre.
Yeah.
Like, time has elapsed, because Mallory knew M's secure in his position, all this kind of stuff. But then James Bond comes across a videotape by Judi Dench saying, you need to go to this man's funeral, he's linked to Spectre.
Yeah.
And it's like, wait, so... how did you know this guy had died? And has this funeral been delayed by like 6 months?
Yeah.
Like, how do you know these things? So the
Bloody Brussels, eh? I haven't done a funeral on time.
Yeah.
I bet they had to pass some kind of coffin law or something. Not fit to specifications, eh?
Oh, yeah, dear. Yeah. So the launch point of the film doesn't make any sense. Anyway, so James Bond goes to this guy's funeral and tracks down his widow, and the widow's going to be killed by Spectre agents because she might reveal the secrets.
Yeah.
James Bond sneaks into her mansion, kills a bunch of guys, and she is clearly distraught. She's sad that her husband's died, but also that she's been killed. She's emotionally given up. And then James Bond just has anal sex with her.
That's terrible.
It's awful, and the scene just plays out. And it's like, oh my god! I expected this back in like the years of like Sean Connery having sex with coded lesbian pussy galore.
Yeah.
And his dick's so big that he knocks that lesbianism out of her.
So we've all been there.
Yeah. we've all done it with an ninjutsu called Pussy Galore in the barn of a German supervillains complex. Yeah.
Well, we used to do that obviously before. Before we joined the EU.
Before we joined the EU.
Yeah. But Skyfall itself is awful. I mean, Spectre itself is awful.
Spectre's film itself is awful, and the film's biggest problem is that its attempts to link all the previous films together is laughable at best. So we talked about this whole idea of it, Silver being an individual, like this whole modern concept of suddenly a person on his laptop can be as powerful as a nation.
An Edward Snowden or Julian Assange
exactly. Yeah, you're right there. Yeah, like, you know, breaking the whole new world order. But then to make him part of like a criminal organisation
doesn't make any sense.
It undermines it completely. And then there's that terrible, terrible scene when Blofeld's, who's the villain of the film, you know, he says, "I am the architect of all your pain, James." And it's like, what? It literally makes no sense.
Yeah.
So, as it turns out, James Bond had a stepbrother. Sorry, I know you're going to go to the main topic, but I'm so hung up on this film, and I've been hung up on this film for about 4 years, and it's like venting, you know.
Yeah.
So,
I think it is one of the stupidest sort of modern blockbusters. Like,
yeah, definitely, yeah, and it's just dull.
Yeah,
that's the biggest problem. Is it's dull.
I remember the action scenes being completely unexpected. Doesn't it just end with like a crumbling building and he has to save her from like the
it ends on with a punch out on Westminster Bridge.
I remember that. That's stupid as well.
A bunch of dumb stuff happens. So, as it turns out, James Bond has a stepbrother who we've just learned about, who seems to have little to no emotional attachment to. And then, as it turns out, the brother renamed himself. He was called Franz Oberhauser. But then he decided to call himself Ernst Stavro Blofeld.
Why?
Like, why? I mean, like, out of all the names in the world, why would you do that? You want to make yourself like
these gays always putting the word blow in their name. That's why.
No. No, I mean, like, if you want to remake your identity like an evil supervillain, you give yourself like a short, cool name. I don't know, just Blofeld.
The Duke.
The Duke. Zardoz. Yeah, you know, it's something badass like that, but not
for like John Smith or the other extreme, which would be like Zardoz or something. You don't go for just Blofeld.
Or you go for something like Jane Doe or something. Yeah. And then when like Christoph Waltz turns up, you're like, what? But we do this whole stupid thing where like they try to keep like Christoph Waltz in the shadows for a huge part of the film. And then like James Bond sneaks into a meeting in Rome, and he's like, "Hello, James, I know you're there." And he's like, "What?" And he runs away. And Dave Bautista's in this film as well.
Oh yeah, he plays like the odd job type character.
Yeah. And Dave Bautista is so much better than just playing the strong, silent henchman.
Great in Guardians of the Galaxies.
Yeah, he's a great performer. He's really funny, and he's a pretty cool guy as well, as it turns out.
Yeah.
And he is so much better than just playing the silent heavy. Like, he's so much better than that, and he's wasted. And there's like a car chase, which I'm not joking, goes on for 20 minutes. Like, we watched it on TV, and like that's when the advert cut like fucking like halfway through an action scene, because it goes on for so long.
Yeah.
And like, ultimately the film doesn't reach the conclusion on why the 00 program is needed, because basically James Bond calls a fucking an international incident. You know, loose British spy is it's caught destroying supercars in the middle of Rome.
Yeah.
And then all the Brexiteers will be like, "This is why we need to stop this whole free border thing." You know what I mean?
Exactly.
We can't just let these. This is what happens when free borders happen. You know, with little no passport checks.
Exactly. Yeah. What if an immigrant was in his Aston Martin?
Maniacs like James Bond can like go through to Rome and like fuck up a sports car, and you know.
Yeah.
It's so stupid.
The whole thing is just complete garbage, really.
I mean, like,
is there a guy who's like so obviously like the villain in MI5 or 6? The guy who's like working with him.
Yeah.
It's like, isn't it supposed to be like a bit ambiguous, and he's so obviously is the villain. It's unbelievable.
Well, he's played by the guy who plays Moriarty. Yeah. He's played by the guy who plays Moriarty in Sherlock, in Stephen Moffat's Sherlock. In
Holmes and Watson.
The hit Will Ferrell film. Yeah, and John C. Reilly. Yeah. He plays Moriarty in the Benedict Cumberbatch, Martin Freeman Sherlock, and he's bad in that. He's really bad in that, and he's bad here as well.
That it's just that whispery type of thing where it's like it's just way over the top in it for this. Like.
Yeah, you like instantly you flagged like he is the villain. And then an hour and a half into the film, the Bond girl is introduced, and the Bond girl. The Bond woman. Yes, the very good Lisa Seydoux. She's good in most things. She's bad here though. She's really bad here. Like as it turns out, her father is Mr. White,
dun, dun, dun.
who worked for Spectre, and shock twist, James Bond basically helps to kill him.
Yeah. Because
he kind of wants to kill himself to protect secrets, but it's so stupid. Like, so James Bond ends up shooting him, and they record it as CCTV. So, like, there's a scene later on in the film when on a terrible blue screen set as well, which like that scene when like we first meet Blofeld, it's like all the computer monitors all around.
Yeah.
Like they filmed that on blue screen.
My God.
Literally, like you can't see this on the recording, but like like the computer monitors are there, and they're like looking down there. They're trying to make eye contact. It's so bad. Like
I'm holding a big sword in this one.
This is my rocket-powered hammer, James.
It is the architect of all your things.
How much have you ever lost in a coin toss? It's so bad. So then he plays this footage of CCTV of like James Bond shooting this guy. He's like, "You'll see, James killed your father." And then James Bond, for some reason, reacts really badly. He's like, "No, don't see this, no!" But it's like, if James had just said, "Well, your dad asked me to do it, like, you wanted to protect the secrets," like, if he just explained, but James Bond's like, "No, don't see this, no!" Yeah. It's so stupid.
I know. I remember having a really bad mismatch of tones and all. Like, I remember it just descending into camp basically when he's in the like. What does Blofeld? He has like a big giant square in the middle of the desert, doesn't he? That's like, and I remember it descending into full-on camp when it's there.
Because they have to get a train for this film. Globetrots a bit too much. That's one of his big problems as well. Is that like, you don't get settled into like a location.
Yeah.
Well, like in Skyfall, you've got maybe like 3. Like, obviously, a big part of the appeal of James Bond films, especially back in the 60s and 70s, was this whole idea of, like, the globetrotting element.
Yeah.
A UK audience stuck with rationing in pre-EU days.
Yeah.
Guess... Sorry. In pre-EU days, gets to see all these fabulous locations. James Bond goes to the Far East, and he's in Japan, and he's in America, and, like, audiences get to see things that they might not have seen before.
Yeah.
But, like the globetrotting element's always been part of it. Yeah. But, like, in this one, they go, like, 6 or 7 different places, so in a very long, extended scene, they have to get the train from Morocco to the middle of the desert.
Yeah.
And it fucking goes on forever and ever. There's a scene where, like, basically, going back to the Bond woman, Lisa Seydoux, she's like, she's basically like a psychiatrist who works in the Austrian Alps. So they go to Austria at some point in this film as well to do something. Because Mr. White's like, "You must find my daughter." And it's like, "Okay, well, I found your daughter, what do we do now?" "Oh, my father had an apartment in Morocco. We always came here. We'll go to Morocco." So we go to Morocco, and it's so bad because basically, like, the minute her plot line is done, she's like, basically says, "I'm finished, I'm out of the film now."
Oh my God.
Like, "I have found out the secret of who my father was. Goodbye, James, I can't be in this anymore." And then they just kidnap her and keep her for, like,
the exciting conclusion.
Very exciting conclusion to the movie, yeah. And it's like, then James Bond, like, falls in love with her, I guess.
Yeah.
It was a stupid scene where, like
he's fallen in love with a million people before.
Yeah.
Does Skyfall have a Bond girl?
No, not really. There's like Moneypenny, was a bit of playful flirting. But
he couldn't get with her for obvious reasons.
I mean, arguably the Bond girl of Skyfall is M. is Judi Dench. Arguably. But then, like, in this one, it kind of goes back to, like, your more traditional, like, Bond woman. So it's... and she's, like, basically says, like, "I love you, James, but I cannot be part of this anymore. My character plot arc is finished. I must leave."
Yep.
It's like, could you not have found a more natural way of getting this character out of the film? It's really bad. Then there's a whole stupid extended scene where after James Bond's worked out what Blofeld's up to, They end up back in London, and now all of a sudden, even though he was horrifically burned, he's got like a scar like just down his eye.
Like Blofeld from the other films.
Exactly, yeah. Give me back Camp Charles Grey from Diamonds Are Forever. He's from Blofeld Island. Or even Telly Savalas, who was kind of in everyone's favourite Bond film on Her Majesty's Secret Service.
Yeah.
Like, give me that. Like, I know a joke about it, but like, Telly Savalas was suave as fuck.
Yeah, he's a cool guy.
He's cool, and he's good in the film. Like, he's one of the few things I like in Secret Service.
Exactly, then you could have had his singing talents when he did Every Man Needs Protection.
Yeah.
I Shall Be Released, isn't it?
I shall be released. Yeah.
You could have done that at Bond, that'd have made it a better film.
Yeah.
Something we've not mentioned, actually, if there's any significance to this is the first Bond film, isn't it? I doubt they'll repeat this after this one, where it's the same director as the one preceding it directly.
I think so, yeah.
Because there's obviously ones who have done multiple ones, like the guy who did Casino Royale also did GoldenEye.
Yeah, and Guy Hamilton did Goldfinger and Diamonds Are Forever, and it was a
But
bunch,
I think this is supposed to be the first one where it was trying to. They actually got the director from the one previous to do it. I don't know if that was any. If there's any. Well, I suppose they just were like, you made $1 billion, do it again.
Do it again, basically. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I suppose we should probably mention the song as well, the Sam Smith song.
Awful.
Which is dreadful.
Awful.
It is so bad. Again, like, I'm not a big fan of the artist, but Adele's Skyfall feels like a Bond song. Yeah. It's a big number, you know what I mean?
My favourite's the awful one from the Jack White one from Quantum of Solace.
Another Way to Die.
You got a Quantum Solace. It's not that, obviously.
Another Way to Die. It's like, where's my fucking like Meg White trying to sing, like, you know, or Meg White trying to drum, but
but the song is awful.
The song's awful, and but the whole thing ends up limping out where James Bond's decided like this girl is the one. He doesn't rejoin MI6 and actually walks away, you know, with her like holding a hand, basically implying that Bond's done.
Yeah, it's the Harry Callahan thrown his badge in the river moment.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like he's done. Yeah, he's out.
Yeah. But this corrupt modern world of its cooperation and working together and bloody Peruvian bears, it's too much for me. He's gonna step outside and live with this beautiful, gorgeous woman in his palatial mansion or wherever he lives.
And that's why I voted to leave the EU.
To live with my French girl.
To live with my French girlfriend, yeah. To live with my
friend. Are we on Nigel Farage?
James Bond is basically his Nigel Farage, yeah. In fact, I would be surprised if Nigel Farage reveals that he was an ex-MI6 agent. Well, I'll have you know that I was part of the 00 programme.
Then all these bureaucrats to stop me from drinking on the job.
They wanted to do budget cuts and they wanted to get rid of my swanky 2-bedroom flat in central London.
What they didn't actually like was that I'd tell it like it was. Like, Angela Merkel came in one time, I'm like, oh, you can't serve me a spritzer, yeah? Or whatever German fucking beer you have that there, yeah? Was Hitler be impressed with you, eh?
My heart's broken me a bit. We'll get rid of this in recording. I'm literally crying. James Bond is basically Nigel Farage.
Yeah.
He's going to lead... James Bond is the new contender for the leader of UKIP.
I wonder... I reckon he'd last about a week and then he'd say something Islamophobic.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, definitely. I
just imagine the next Bond film being like he tries to go into Iran or something.
Oh God! So James Bond walks off into the sunset with his French girlfriend and his political career laid out before him. You know, outside Westminster as well. You know what I mean? It's very symbolic of walking away from Westminster Bridge and...
Oh, yeah.
So it's a dumb film, and I think it's kind of broken me a bit.
Yeah. Let's get to the wider thesis statement of...
So we are 35 minutes into this podcast, and I almost died while recording it.
Are you sure it's not Russian agents poisoning your water?
No, I'm all thinking Brexiteers.
Oh, yeah.
To stop my anti-Brexit
sentiments,
yeah.
But So yeah, basically Bond is kind of a relic. I think in all it's even a relic of the sort of British filmmaking thing. Like you've got to think like within the establishment of the 60s, you know, Britain had David Lean. Like let's go make Lawrence of Arabia the world's dullest film. Can you imagine like how suicidal you'd be in the 60s if you went, yay, a double bill of Lawrence of Arabia and Diamonds
Are Forever. Okay, sure.
Yeah. Oh yeah, imagine if you spent a whole day watching like David Lean. Have you ever watched any? I'll tell you what's a great one, Brief Encounters.
Alright, because it's short, right?
No, it's 90 minutes and it's mainly set in a train station.
Bloody hell.
It's just a nice intimate film. It's about two English people. They're both married, but they fall in love. Oh, it's perfect.
It was quite scandalous at the time, wasn't it, when it came out? Yeah, people were like, you can't have this. I mean...
David Lean should have done more stuff like that, not bloody... Yeah, Lawrence of Arabia.
Lawrence of Arabia, yeah.
But that pomp, though, that sort of like, you know, British film industry and like... I mean, you know, we still do, but, you know, we produce the best actors in the world, and, you know, we've... I don't think we've produced the best... I meant, like, there's that idea that we produce a class of actors who go off to make American films, because they actually have in a film industry over there.
Yeah, unlike over here,
I think there's a bit of a myth, though. Like, I don't think there is a place that makes the best actor. You know what I mean, though? There's seen as a idea that, you know, because we have Shakespearean sort of... because we have such a big, basically, because I like Shakespearean plays and stuff over here, and we mould them in our classical acting schools. And
yes, you know, we're the country of birth, Shakespeare, for Christ's sake.
Another fucking stupid myth about Britain being better than any other country that doesn't make any sense, you know, like, you know.
Yeah.
But anyway, that would be the historical thing that Bond would sort of come out of and stuff. Yeah.
But like, I think if we've got to go even further than that. And go back to the character's creation.
Oh yeah, by Ian Fleming.
What a wonderful man. So you know, obviously the famous story is that James Bond, as a concept, the character was created the night before Ian Fleming's wedding, which I think says probably a hell of a lot. Yeah. He was a snob. And historically he was a snob. He was friends with like people like David Niven and people like that. You know, Posh Toshy. He was an espionage agent. He was a secret agent, and he enjoyed the best things in life. You know, he literally probably was James Bond. You know, he loved his women. You know, he smoked about 40 cigarettes a day, and he only had like the best coffee and the best smoked salmon and the best eggs and. He wrote all this in his shack in the Indies, and you know, like, you know, it's
real hard man, really. Basically.
Yeah, and like that's the basis of the character. Yeah, and James Bond, I'm just gonna say it, he's not a character, and he never has been a character. He is the ultimate white male power fantasy, and when he uses the word that's thrown around a lot, white cis male fantasy.
Yeah. He's basically an amalgamation of what like sad losers think is cool, basically.
Yeah. So, you know, James Bond's got all the money. Yeah. He's got the best cars. He gets to travel the world. You know, he gets to sleep with all the sexy women. He gets all the coolest gadgets.
He gets to destroy his body through alcohol abuse without ever having any
with no consequences. Yeah. He gets to shoot wherever he wants, you know, with no consequences.
He gets to be above having like a regular job kind of thing. Like, and I think ever since there was Bond, there's been anti-Bond as well. So you had the Ipcris Files, which was, you know, a realistic portrayal of what that'd be like. Yeah. You've had stuff like the Bourne films, which seem to be an attempt to do like a realistic version of it. You've had like multiple thrillers where it's people just sat in a room working things out rather than like going around and shooting things. And
yeah.
So yeah, there's a lot going into, and you know, like let's say outright colonialism as well.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Let's say Ian Fleming's views on like Africa and India.
We're discussing all the prescient issues of the day. You know, Brexit, colonialism. I mean, like, not that we have like anti-British sentiments or anything, but we'll let you make up your mind, dear listener.
You see, I actually would say that I have pro-British sentiments in that I like the idea of I think the idea that there is even British values and stuff's fucking stupid. It's an amalgamation of different people with different ideas and stuff like.
And a lot of it is built upon that whole like colonialist past. Yeah. That whole idea of the empire, which has been lost, but we always kept the British end up, and
Yeah. But even then, though, even during colonialism, there was like a lot of people who hated it.
Oh yeah, sure, yeah, yeah.
Like, it's a constant war against these idiots. And
yeah,
stuff
yeah.
like
Because the narrative that's written is that Britain, but we had the empire and it was great.
Yeah.
But of course, it's way more complicated than that, and it's built upon the exploitation of people and countries and genocide and and all sorts. So. And I think, you're right. Yeah, definitely the whole colonialist legacy of Britain feeds into James Bond.
Yeah.
The whole idea that the British are here to save the day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Definitely, yeah. Especially in some of the older ones and stuff. I doubt you would have one now. Where
yeah. Like in Doctor No.
Yeah.
James
to Jamaica.
James Bond goes to Jamaica. Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's like, it's so racist. Like there's this scene where Doctor No has a tank, right, and it kind of, but not really, looks like a dragon.
Yeah.
And all the locals think it's an actual dragon.
Oh my god.
And he's like, "No, James, don't go near the dragon." And Bond's like, "It's a tank."
No, that just condescending attitude though towards anyone who's not English is just ridiculous.
Yeah, it's so bad. But like that's. So then that runs through, so Doctor No.
Mm-hmm.
For Russia with Love to a lesser extent.
Yeah.
Because that's an actual good film, and it's like a taut Cold War thriller.
Yeah.
And it's just entertaining, it's a good little film. Goldfinger, a similar kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, I suppose and all it has to feed into the historical idea of like the idea that Russia is like the enemy of the West as well.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
like within the context and all, like in the 60s, like with the Labour Prime Minister Harold Wilson, people genuinely thought it was a KGB spy, and there was all these ridiculous you got the same thing over here as like America. I'm assuming that will only ever be listened to in the UK and US, but you'd imagine that, and over here it's pretty similar as well.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Russia is the architect of all your pain, James.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So it all feeds into whatever kind of contemporary issue was happening at the time. Like Doctor No premiered, and then I think a couple of weeks later was the Cuban Missile Crisis.
Yeah.
And a key part of that film is all about like a missile that Doctor No's got, and and they progressively get sillier.
Yeah.
James Bond goes to Japan.
Great one.
Great.
It's terrible. It's great
terrible,
well.
but it's great. It's so camp, but it's so great.
It has got James Bond Japanesing up at one point, doesn't it? Where he doesn't like just squint his eyes.
He doesn't look any different. The dude, they tried to use like some makeup over his eyes, make it look Japanese, but it looks no different. As lovingly spoofed in Team America, when Gary tries to look like a terrorist. So you've got your foundation of colonialism, which isn't a great start.
Yeah.
And then you've got an inherently sexist character in itself, who, again, sleeps with whatever woman he wants. The female characters in James Bond films, historically, definitely, are, for the most part, terrible.
Yeah.
And, I can't even, I don't know who the worst one is. But because it's my punching bag for terrible old James Bond films, I'll go with the one in Diamonds Are Forever.
Surely the one in View to a Kill who's like 18 when he's 60, though, just for what it represents is the worst.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true. I mean, like the Roger Moore ones, it's like, I don't know, it's like...
Don't put my hip out, baby.
Yeah. I kind of can't help but feel like it's almost like Margaret Thatcher, like in James Bond disguise, if you know what I mean. I don't know. But those 80s ones are weird because they're really they stray away from politics.
Yeah.
They don't really go into it as much. But
well, I reckon that would have been because Britain was such a fragmented country at that point. There was just so much internal political strife and stuff.
Exactly. Yeah, they kind of didn't want to. They didn't want to go there.
Yeah.
But
even the foreign policy of Margaret Thatcher was incredibly divisive. They couldn't exactly have gone James, your new assignment is to assassinate the Falkland Island Prime Minister. I don't know if they have a king or a Prime Minister. That's how bloody... I'm assuming they have a Prime Minister.
To go into Argentina and... yeah, you're right. So instead of it being...
no, it's the Spanish. Quick, kill them as well. They think it's their land. I'd love it if that was an actual Bond film where we had to reclaim Argentina.
Yeah, that'd be great. So instead of playing incredibly safe...
Yeah.
I mean, like the Timothy Dalton ones, and he goes into Iraq in one of the Timothy Dalton ones.
So I'm just imagining now if there were a Bond film where we had to fight Alex Salmond.
Oh yeah,
Scotland belongs to us.
His new crazy ideas.
Or if it were just like he had like a useless assistant who was Scottish.
Yeah.
This is why we must rule you too.
Yeah, it's like a non too subtle jab at the Scottish of the whole idea of the Scottish referendum. Yeah. Yes.
Anyway, as you say.
So
he goes to Iraq.
He goes to Iraq. One of them. He inadvertently helps terrorists.
Yeah.
Who probably at this time were probably led by the people who were in charge. Like,
no, it's not as embarrassing though, is it? As do you know Rambo 3?
Rambo,
where it ends in it. It's got like a thing where it's like dedicated to the proud soldiers of Osama bin Laden. Or something.
Oh my god.
Well, obviously, America sponsored.
Yeah, sponsored it. Yeah. And then License to Kill like deals in the South American drug trade.
Yeah.
So it's
Has
about
a young Benicio del Toro in it.
Yeah. So it's about as far removed from being political as it gets.
Yeah.
But then they all kind of retain that, well, less so as it gets on, but still that whole like racist, sexist, misogynistic angle. Yeah. But then like I think the really weird one, looking back in retrospect now, is GoldenEye.
Yeah.
Where like GoldenEye basically does call out James Bond. He's like, where Judi Dench says, I think you're a sexist, misogynist dinosaur, a relic from the cold age.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, too right. But then the film doesn't do anything with that, Fred.
Well, I don't feel like they do anything with it in the Daniel Craig ones. They point him out, they give him like an assistant who is a minority, and then that's it. That's not represent. They're not doing it. But they should give him like a partner who's a woman instead of having just like an assistant who is or something like that.
So yeah, I think the way to get around the whole problem with James Bond, which
make it Jane Bond or something like that.
Well, not even that. Like, basically have it where James Bond is just a name.
Alright.
It's an alias.
Yeah.
But James Bond goes on everywhere. And everyone knows who James Bond is. Like it's a classic, like trope that people have pointed out in James Bond films where everyone knows who James Bond is, right?
Yeah.
So just have it where James Bond 007 is a code name.
Yeah.
That's his spy name, and his public name is James Bond.
But
it could be anybody.
Yeah.
It could be anybody. It could be Idris Elba. Then you get past the whole like, oh well, James Bond shouldn't be black. And
you honestly think that those people would be like, oh yeah, that actually makes plot consistency now. It's fine with me.
I think people would just be scratching their heads instead. But then then if you wanted to push it, then yeah, why not have why not have a female character in there, because it throws you off. You're expecting a man, but James Bond then can be a woman. You know what I mean? Like it takes that whole thing of it's one of the few things that of recent years, that whole idea of anyone can be whatever they want to be. Like you see it quite a lot in media. So like the one I can think of is unpopular opinion here, but like in The Last Jedi.
Oh, right, yeah.
Where The Last Jedi, while it's cheesy, it ends with that stupid little kid.
Yeah.
It ends on the sentiment that anyone can be one with the Force. You don't have to be a Skywalker. Yeah. You don't have to be an Obi-Wan. Anyone can be sensitive to the Force, and anyone can be a Jedi.
Yeah.
Or like the whole idea, like in Buffy.
Yeah.
Before we ruined it in season 7, where it's like it's one girl in the whole world. Anyone could be the Slayer.
Yeah,
as long as you're a girl. Yeah. As long as you're a girl. Anyone could be the Slayer.
Yeah. So move away from the patriarchal idea that it's bequeathed to this one person. Anyone who does this.
So anyone could be James Bond. And then you can kind of do what you want then. Yeah. You can make this new James Bond into like whatever you want to be. Yeah. Because he's not James Bond as like the quote unquote character.
Yeah.
At least that's what I think you should do. If you like the idea Eon Productions, then you fucking stole my idea.
Exactly. Yeah.
And I want some royalties for it.
Well, I think though, in all I'm just thinking of the Pierce Brosnan ones where you're talking, they're interesting because what are the villains in that? You've got again, like a guy who wants to take down the global financial system.
You've got an evil tabloid newspaper person.
Exactly, a billionaire. And stuff. They're all like these like boogeymen of the sort of 90s and early 2000s. They have that kind of end of history kind of feel that, you know, like, it's not politics anymore that's the problem. It's these like individuals who represent something like.
Yeah, so like the newspaper, the news industry, and
if the news industry just didn't publish these damned lies and we could get on with the idea of politics. And you've got, and then like like the global financial thing, that's the similar idea, I suppose, to in Skyfall. It's something bigger than one individual state.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Yeah. I don't even remember who the one in that terrible one where he's played by Robbie Carlyle.
Robert Carlyle, yeah, I don't remember either.
That is the most generic one.
I can't remember anything about that.
That's got the worst one-liner where it's like, the Bond girl's called Christmas, and then like, at the end of it, it's like, and I thought Christmas came only once a year.
So it's like a 90s idea of feminism.
Yeah.
You know, she's just as tough as the men.
She comes more than once.
Yeah.
That's, you see, what a cook Bond is, like making a woman come. Like,
James Bond's a cook.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Well, that's progressive, isn't it? He's not just talking about his own pleasure. He's also
he's considering her pleasure. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, that's the real progressivism of Bond.
Yeah, that's true.
No, those Brosnan ones are all terrible.
Yeah.
Even GoldenEye's not very good now.
No, because like, okay, sure, you've got the oh so memorable character Natalia, but then you've got like Xena on the top. A dominatrix like stereotype who, because the thing is no matter how many times we try to like revitalize James Bond, it's still got this toxic core, which to be honest I think the filmmakers know.
Yeah, I think they're just trying to sort of walk around the issue kind of thing.
Which
you can't do Bond without doing that, really. It's a systemic problem rather than an individual problem.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Which is kind of like why Skyfall's one that works the best.
Yeah.
Because they actually tried to make him into a character.
Yeah.
You know, like it's a personal mission as opposed to like, you know, James Bond jet sets off to Taiwan and he does this and he meets a villain, he gets a fast car which can turn invisible and it's different. You know, they try to reposition him, and then Spectre just completely falls off the rails and like goes back into that whole toxic space, you know, of, you know, James Bond straight up rapes a woman in that film. I don't care what anyone says.
Yeah.
It's really bad, and there's like, you know, it's played just for like, this is what he does.
Yeah.
And it goes uncommented on. And it's all part of the whole culture which normalises like the objectification of women and the rape of women.
Yeah.
You know, I think especially like in today's climate of Me Too and this kind of stuff.
Well, I think the next one will be very interesting to see like what they do.
I don't know what they're gonna do, because
they should just kill the character off and stop making them. Yeah.
I'll do what I suggested.
Yeah.
Make it so it's a mantle that's passed on.
Yeah.
You know, so James Bond doesn't always have to have a Bond girl. So, you know, you can finally get past all these stupid tropes, you know. So, you know, it's the fact is, you know, like more and more, you know, victims of sexual harassment are coming forward and having their stories heard, and more people are saying, well, we don't believe them.
Yeah.
You know, there's like a really good example I heard was so there's a 1 in 3 chance it's going to rain every single day in the US.
Yeah.
No one questions it. If it rains, it rains.
Yeah.
No one questions it. There's also statistically a 1 in 3 chance that a woman is going to be sexually harassed.
Yeah.
But people aren't willing to be like, well, yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know about that. That's not true. I want to hear both sides, but it's both sides. I want to hear both sides of the story. So if you keep on perpetrating stuff like this, because media has a way of influencing and shaping people's opinions on society at large. So if you still have this whole narrative of James Bond has sex with a woman, but it's basically rape.
Yeah.
Like, you know, all you're doing is just normalising that culture, which people have been brought up to believe is normal, but it's not.
Yeah.
Like, So I'm going off on a tangent.
No. You see, we've had some laughs. Let's get serious.
We've had some laughs. Yeah, let's get serious now. And for me, that's for me a problem.
Yeah.
Where like boys watching this will think that it's okay to pursue a woman in that way.
Yeah.
You know, like in a lot of the older James Bond films, like in Goldfinger. Yeah, it's a classic film to a degree. But there's a scene where James Bond literally forces himself onto Pussy Galore.
Yeah.
Like, she is like, no, I'm not having it, no. And even as a kid watching the films, I was uncomfortable with it.
Yeah. I find that the weirdest thing, that people watch like Bond films with kids and stuff. And
and like really not appropriate for kids, I think.
No, not at all.
But like, she's literally thrashing and saying no. And in the book, it's even worse because in the book, she's a lesbian.
Yeah.
Well,
the books actively have bits like in the prose where it's like, and everyone knows women like.
Oh yeah. There's that great tidbit.
Yeah, I think the whole everything about Bond I think is quite problematic and all. Like the idea that he's cool even though he drinks constantly, and like
he's a
the
mess.
idea that it's fine for like Britain to just intervene wherever it wants and stuff, and like the politics of it's awful as well. The sexual politics is awful. Yeah. What he represents is awful and stuff. Like everything about it's pretty terrible in every sense, really. Like some of the films are objectively pretty decent, like entertaining. Romps and stuff, but everything they represent is pretty toxic and awful, really. Like.
Yeah, no, exactly. Yeah, which is why I think as a series, even though we're not going to kill it, it should die. Because I don't see a space for these kind of films in 2019. Because for all the criticism they get, and I'm going to go on a limb here and defend the Marvel films.
Yeah.
At least in the Marvel films, they're diverse.
Yeah.
And they're respectful to each other.
Yeah.
You know, there's no scene where Iron Man like tries to force himself onto like Black Widow, for example. You know what I mean? Like they feel like genuinely like these are action heroes of today. Very emotionally honest. There's a bit more to them than like James Bond. And like, you know, like it's okay to be emotional. It's okay for your heroes to, you know, be male and to also express emotions and feelings, unlike the cold, distant, calculating James Bond.
Yeah.
Which, you know, it's so rare, but you're seeing it more in entertainment with more emotionally honest men. But I think James Bond stems back into that whole realm of, and I can't believe we are 57 minutes into this and not mentioned this term yet, but into the whole realm of toxic masculinity. Hey-oh! We should have like a little ringer because we're 57 minutes in. We're 57 minutes in and we've only just mentioned toxic masculinity. But I
noticed there's never been a female Bond director, has there?
I don't know. No, you are correct. There's never been a female James Bond director.
Yeah.
So you know, it's the very concept of James Bond is so reductive.
Yeah.
And it goes back to the whole concept of toxic masculinity, where by bottling up your emotions and being cold and distant and mooching about with whoever you want and, you know, going wherever you want and, you know, not really being emotionally honest with yourself or with others is a good and desirable thing.
Yeah.
It is not.
Exactly.
It's destructive and it can be unhealthy. It is unhealthy.
Yeah.
And it can make people incredibly unhappy.
Yeah.
And potentially dangerous.
Yeah.
So we need to be educating, you know, especially boys, I think, you know, that this type of masculinity is ultimately not okay.
Yeah,
it's not okay to act the way James Bond does.
Yeah. I think that he's just a relic. I think that they'll struggle now financially just because he's a relic of that. People don't want like this kind of stuff, and like you bring up Avengers and stuff. Yeah, look how diverse that is, and even the. Like, you know, to bring it to the whole political thing, like we're talking about Bond now, it's just like one guy goes around killing everything. It is about teamwork more than anything, and it's like if there's an external threat, people have to come together to sort of fight it and stuff. And I just don't think there's anything like this that would be. I think it's just a dead concept and stuff that no one's interested in anymore.
Yeah. Like it kind of wasn't okay even back in the 60s.
Yeah.
But people were willing to accept it, but it's definitely not okay now in 2019.
Yeah.
Like, they've done things to improve upon it, like, definitely, but, like, at your core, you've got that whole toxic base of your sexism, your racism, the aspects of colonialism.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I mean, like, you know, then you're kind of dealing with the whole, like, what is increasingly looking to be like, you know, post-Brexit Britain.
Yeah.
Like, what form could James Bond take in post-Brexit Britain?
God, no. Yeah.
You know, like...
Depends what happens, doesn't it? Like,
well, it depends what happens, yeah.
Yeah.
But, you know, like, it's you know, the political climate here in Britain at the moment is incredibly divided.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know, maybe it's just because I'm an adult and I'm more cognizant to it.
Yeah.
But it definitely feels like it more than ever.
I would say since the 80s, really. Like,
Yeah.
Like, that was a time of open, like, civil war between different factions of, like the miners' strike and stuff like that. That was an incredibly divisive time when the country was, like, divided. And...
But for so long, there's been a sense of, like...
Yeah.
Britain's got its problems, sure, but it's probably one of the more stable political landscapes of the Western world.
Yeah.
Until, like, 2016.
Yeah.
When it kind of just... Nobody knows. Nobody knows what's going to happen, and there's so much uncertainty about what could happen. And the concept of what might happen is kind of terrifying.
Yeah.
So it's like, where does James Bond step into this, and how does James Bond react to a post-Brexit world? Now, that could be interesting.
Yeah.
James Bond dealing with this whole uncertainty, this whole malaise, and like that could be an interesting Bond film. Whether they're going to go there or not, I don't know, because
exactly. Yeah,
and you know, again, a lot of fans of James Bond probably do like the whole British bulldog sensibility thing. I don't want to say that all people who voted leave like James Bond films.
Yeah,
but I imagine there's a bit of a correlation.
Yeah, amongst some of them, definitely.
Amongst some of them, definitely.
The type that we're talking about, yeah.
Because we're kind
of...
The
idea of the nostalgic people, though, who think that Britain used to be better and stuff like that.
Yeah.
The old ones, probably,
Yeah,
like, you get different sentiments amongst all the people that Britain, you know, is in a state of decline and stuff, and it used to be better. That's the kind of people who will be appealing to James Bond, Yeah. Well, I think it'd be interesting though whether it, because I think that, like, in all that, the consensus amongst, like, younger people as well is that, like, Britain's, you know, disastrous like foreign policy and ideas abroad and stuff is not okay either and stuff. Like, if that stops being the consensus as well, where the hell is this going to stand? Like,
well, yeah.
Because, you know, like, there's like big pushes now against stuff like selling arms to Saudi Arabia and disastrously meddling and stuff like that. Like, if that stops being, and no one's going to want to watch a fucking adventure about a guy who literally just goes around, like, causing mayhem in other countries and stuff.
Yeah, like just doing whatever he wants, answerable to no one.
Yeah. It's kind of is like the whole of the post-war consensus, really, that Bond sort of fits into. The idea that, like, the West is the best, and, like, should suppress, like, you know, revolutions in other countries, and has its hand in everything, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like,
got its fingers in all the pies, and
like, for most of the, you know, post-war period, like Britain, America, and, like, certain parts of Europe, like France and stuff, and it was like in a fight with Russia over the globe, kind of thing. Like, that's just over now and stuff. Like,
and now it's kind of like the dust has settled, and now we've kind of got the rise of popularism, which is spreading, you know, like, or has spread across, you know, quite a few countries. It's like, you know, again, where does James Bond step into that? And, like, you know,
calls people snowflakes. And
he calls people snowflakes, and like, I know
Tommy Robinson's got some good ideas.
God no, James Bond, like, like leader of, like, Britain First and stuff, and I don't know, maybe not that much.
Yeah, that's a joke.
Maybe a UKIP voter.
Yeah, he'll just be completely apolitical. He'll just go silly, probably. He'll just become like Bourne or something. It'll just be the same as they were during Roger Moore years, like.
Like just take a complete backseat, and I mean, like, even like those Roger Moore ones, I mean, like, off the top of my head, like, he doesn't go to many controversial places. I'm just going through them all in my head. He goes to Greece in one of them. Mm-hmm. He goes to India, obviously former British colony, but he doesn't really
do anything.
He doesn't really do anything controversial with that. And he goes to San Francisco.
Former British colony.
Or
they'll just become like the bloody Pierce Brosnan ones, where he just goes after some kind of, like, because, like, they're all based on, like, like the guy who's in the the millionaire one, he's clearly supposed to be Richard Branson.
Yeah.
And that guy, the other one, the tycoon's supposed to obviously be Rupert Murdoch and stuff. Like,
Yeah.
I'll just pick some boogeyman or something to go after. Like,
Yeah.
You should fight Putin. That'd be
Yeah, that'd be good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But he goes back to Russia. Yeah.
Yeah.
James, we've got a new mission for you. You've got to go back to Russia. I've not been there in 15 years. You know, like it's
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, like it was a smart idea, like in GoldenEye, to kind of make the plot to be about post Cold War.
Yeah.
So Bond actually goes to Russia, and it's kind of smart to do it that way.
Yeah.
But again, they've kind of just been spinning the wheels for years of, we've got a great idea, you know, like in GoldenEye, you know, the idea is that, you know, where do those old relics sit now in this post-Cold War world? I don't really answer the question. And then the question then becomes like with Daniel Craig, you know, where does James Bond sit in post-9/11 world?
Yeah. Well, the problem is they just don't engage the real world. Like the real
yeah.
world would be like hacking and stuff, and like cyber warfare and like things like that. It's a relative time of stability in a lot of ways and stuff. Like the actual amount of wars that countries are engaged in is relatively low now compared to what it used to be and stuff. Like, and the problem now though is a lot of people in the wars are engaged and just don't know who the victors. Like, imagine if it got into Syria or something. No one knows who the like good and bad guys are in that. Most people are against like that. Yeah.
Which goes against the whole worldview of a James Bond film where you've got your villain and you've got your hero. Certainly the world's a bit more politically grave and, you know, what it might have what it might have been back in the 60s.
Well, yeah, exactly.
You know, it's a different world now. And I think because of that, I think it's difficult to make these kind of films, high-octane action films, which have all this baggage involved.
Yeah.
You know, that's probably why like the Marvel films are able to get away with a lot of stuff.
Because they just don't have to engage in
everything.
anything.
Because they've got no footing in the real world.
Yeah.
You know, they're completely... Alright, I know Black Panther does some pretty like woke things, but, you know, it's still fairly like disengaged from... you know, the real world.
Yeah, it's not like a Spike Lee film or something. Like,
exactly.
Where we get into like the actual politics of what like
which some people seem to think Black Panther is like a Spike Lee film, but
it's like a joke, isn't it?
That's like a discussion for another day. So
Black Klansman is better than Black Panther.
I completely agree. That's a discussion for another day. So it's like, you know, you're in this weird nebulous spot, and then the films themselves seem to be struggling. Every single one, to me, always sounds like they always struggle to get them made.
Yeah.
You know, like...
which is bizarre for a film where one of them grossed over $1 billion.
You'd have thought it instantly, no problem.
Yeah.
Here's X amount. Spectre, by the way, is one of the highest budgeted films of all time, I was just reading.
300 million.
Nearly 300 million,
Jesus Christ.
to make...
Looks like shit.
Yeah. There's some pretty shots of the desert, but I think you'd have to be like a terrible photographer not to shoot the desert nicely, because it just gifts itself, basically.
All you do is you place your character in centre ground and then far away enough, it just looks gorgeous, Lawrence of Arabia isn't that well. It's not that big of a achievement to hack on that. I could have cut between a fucking flame and the sun. It's not that hard.
Just do what Lucas does. It just films all on the blue screen. All what the conclusion of Spectre does when most of it's filmed on a blue screen. All you do is just get a nice sunset shot. It looks really pretty. You can have like a single star in the sky. You know, make it look really pretty, and then that's it. There's your desert shot. So it's... I don't know.
Cancel a Bond.
Cancel, hashtag cancel Bond.
Yeah.
Can we try and get that trending? I don't know, because we've touched on a lot of things, you know, we've had a laugh. We've had some serious thinking, you know.
Do you know what, I'll make an actual serious point at the end though? Paddington 2 is better than any Bond film.
Oh, I've not seen any of the Paddington films.
Paddington 2 is a classic. And it's what Britain should be, you know. We accept this Peruvian bear, and it just shows the best of what the country can be. So I'd advise anyone who's thinking, I should watch Bond, and it's like, oh, Paddington, it's for kids, innit? I don't like Peru. It's like, watch Paddington 1 and 2. That's my advice.
I've not seen. I've heard really good things about the Paddington films. So watch Paddington.
Don't watch Mary Poppins Returns.
No, yeah, definitely don't watch that. Yeah.
With that guy who can't sing. I'm the son of a chimney sweep. Lin-Manuel Miranda.
Oh, of Hamilton fame, yeah.
Who can't do it, yeah.
Because the thing is even though...
they call it a democracy, more like a plutocracy. It's all like just joke stuff
yeah. Because like, even though Dick Van Dyke does a terrible Cockney accent,
yeah,
I'll stand by it's a good performance.
Yeah.
Even though his accent's not very good. But Lin-Manuel just... I don't know.
He tries hard, and that's
yeah.
He's one of those people who you can't really like sing or act or dance or anything. Like the dancing in that film is shockingly like it's like just flailing around and stuff. It's badly choreographed.
Yeah.
For the guy who won an Oscar for doing Chicago.
Yeah.
Which I'm sure he must have won. He knew it won Best Picture. Surely he won Director as well.
I meant from the choreography team who did all the stuff for Hamilton as well.
Yeah.
Which is like like the hottest ticket in West End at the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'd have thought there'd be like better dance numbers. You know what? James Bond needs more singing and dancing.
Maybe they should incorporate Bond into the Mary Poppins universe.
Oh yeah, like all your.
Which is worse, Mary Poppins Returns or Spectre?
Spectre. I didn't really have to think about that because like Mary Poppins Returns is not a very good film at all, but at least it tries.
Emily Blunt's great.
I had a smile at one point. Like I smiled at the end when we go up on the balloons. It's the only time in a film it ever comes close to capturing the magic of the original.
Yeah.
And I had a laugh when you think that you're going to see Julie Andrews selling the balloons at the end.
Yeah. And it's
just fucking Angela Lansbury.
Yeah.
Who would just dig up because she was in Bed Knobs and Broomsticks. And that's vaguely similar to Mary
Disney.
Poppins. Yeah. So that made me laugh.
The Meryl Streep scene is appallingly bad though. Do you remember that bit?
Yeah. Is that where? Yeah.
It's where she's like the topsy one.
The topsy-turvy. Which... Oh god, I mean that film.
It's awful.
Oh god, I you know what about that? This is a whole other thing because I could go on for hours about how Mary Poppins Returns is so pandering so like because of our original film, I'll always stand by. I think it's a great little film.
Yeah,
like I think it's a classic. Probably the best film Walt Disney ever made while he was alive.
Yeah.
But, we're here talking about James Bond.
Well, we have to talk about something else just to get... But yeah, any final thoughts on Bond? We've covered everything, surely, yeah.
I feel like we're like an hour and 10 minutes into this thing.
Let's get into Bond and neoliberalism.
Bond and Marxism.
Would Bond have been a supporter of Engels or Marx?
What type of Marxism?
I think you would have been an anarcho-syndicalist.
Okay, sure, yeah. James Bond doesn't care about the working class.
Yeah.
He doesn't care.
I think they should go full on and have him have like a working class butler called like I don't know like Nigel or something. Yeah. I don't know like what's the like where he's called Tim or something. He's like, hello Bond, I'm your working class assistant, see?
And he keeps the working class down.
He the guy's obviously he drinks too much. He drinks too much, but he drinks like working class beers like Guinness, and Bond's like. To martini for me.
If you want to be extra like insensitive, you could also make the butler like Irish.
Oh yeah, he's Irish.
Yeah.
And Bond can be like
you want to be extra insensitive.
You can like tap his stomach and go like, no potato famine for you. Yeah. One of my 5 children is sick today, Bond. Can I have the day off?
Oh no.
Bloody keep. Maybe if Margaret had closed her legs, then maybe we wouldn't have had this problem. See, I'll maybe give you 1 day off, and then like at the end,
I think it's clear that the potatoes are not the only thing that are mashed in your house. Yeah. I mean, wow. That's if James Bond was made like in the 1930s or something, but like.